Hi, and welcome to our December episode of Hingham Happenings. I'm your host, Jenny Sowyrda. Let's take a look at what's coming up on this episode. Second Parish hosted its first fall fair. The Kerry John Walker Fund presented a Halloween party bash benefit. Hingham Sports Partnership celebrated with their 20th anniversary with an Oktoberfest fundraiser. Volunteers on the Hingham Beautification Commission maintain traffic islands around Hingham. Barnes & Noble invited makers of all kinds to give demonstrations at their mini maker fair. All this and more coming up on Hingham Happenings. HCAM covered the fall fair at Second Parish, an event highlighting local crafters and homemade gifts. An assortment of holiday goodies and decorations were available for all.
Today is our fall fair. This is new for us. Usually we have a Christmas bazaar in December, and we decided we'd try to combine the fall event that we had before, which was the pumpkin patch, with our Christmas fair, but we would call it the fall fair and have goods that could be useful for Christmas, for Thanksgiving, and for Halloween.
What's going on today is our annual fair and craft show. Basically, we have all kinds of things in 3 different venues. In the parish hall, where homemade goods, baked goods, Christmas things, basically holiday decorations are all for sale. And here in the sanctuary are the works of many different artists, artisans, and craftspeople. And that is also the case out on the front lawn, where there are pumpkins being sold and can be decorated by the children whose parents buy them. And the craft people are selling all of their goods.
We have a lot of homemade crafts, everything from our knitting and sewing circle, which meet all year round, making wonderful gifts, and women support each other. We have painters, we have the cafe that's being run by Joan, all donated food that she's working with. So again, people say, here's a need, and we just get it done. We had a Celtic concert here a couple weeks ago. We did a blood drive last week, so we're calling it our October Madness, because for a fairly small church of 200, this is a lot to put together. But no one says no when you ask them, so that's wonderful. The church has always done a Christmas fair, much like many of the other churches in town, and we kind of thought we have had a lot of luck with getting people in for the pumpkin patch, and we thought it would be a good idea to parlay a holiday fair with the patch. We had better weather, more predictable this time of year, and I think people have a lot more time than at that holiday time.
It's a good time for a number of reasons. One, just because it's in anticipation of all the craziness that comes up afterwards. But there's something about the harvest. There's something about stopping after you've sort of gathered your crop together. We're not farmers anymore, but it is a time of year when I think we start to look inward a little bit more. And when you have a fair like this, I think a lot of people think about the past and they think about the future, and it gives them a chance not just to enjoy themselves, which I'm all for, enjoyment's great, but also just to realize that as the season passes, there are things that they need and want to think about so that they can plan for what comes up in the next year.
Just for them to come into this historic building is one important thing. It's been here for a very long time. That's a piece of it. To deal with the people who actually go to church here, I think is the second piece of it. We are a welcoming congregation. We welcome people openly and enthusiastically, and always have, and I think that benefits us all.
First of all, it's a warm and wonderful and kind of old-fashioned parish in the sense that we are of a good size to be an extended family. So our generations mix well, and when you get together for a fair and you want to get that kind of home feeling of welcome and warmth and good joy, that's kind of our signature. So it's really nice to have an event that matches how we feel about things.
I think it's a good community event, actually. That's also why I enjoy coming and enjoying seeing some neighbors and some new friends, and I'm sure the other parishioners as well as the artisans also enjoy the same thing.
It is a wonderful opportunity for people who are coming, but who know that it's here, or who are driving by and say, oh look. It is a way of serving all ages, You know, the kids with the pumpkins and the painting, and the adults who come in to see what is for sale and either buy or eat lunch here, or that sort of thing. And it is simply a way of bringing a vaster community into this facility.
In Hingham, I feel there's a real character of caring about other people. There's a real character of taking pride in your work, but recognizing that your work is only as good as the others that it serves. And I think at this fair, we really feel a sense of that character of family, yes, of service, yes, and especially of community, which is a huge piece of what makes Second Parish work.
Party Bash benefit was hosted by the Kerry John Walker Fund, a nonprofit organization dedicated to helping humanity and those affected by poverty. Lots of people joined in the festivities of raising money for a good cause.
It's become an annual event. It's our Halloween party fundraiser. People are here in costumes, many fun costumes, and we are really hoping to raise money to send even more students to Rwanda this summer. In June, actually, we'll be sending a couple of students, at least 2, 3, maybe 4, maybe 5, depending on how well we do tonight. Reconnecting, seeing Mikey. I don't get to see her often enough. She's one of my favorite people in the world. And other friends. I've known the Walker family for a long time also. So reconnecting with the Walker family. I love the diversity here in Hingham. It's amazing. People of all different nationalities and ethnic backgrounds. The open-hearted feeling. You can see the spirit in the room that some people are reaching really deep to give and are doing that completely out of open-hearted generosity. Well, my favorite costume tonight would have to be my husband's costume. He is in a Navy regalia with his sword. It's very fun to see him all decked out.
The Kerry Fund is about supporting kids, locally and globally. And when we thought about, initially when the board was formed and we were thinking about how are we going to do this, took a little bit of thought and a little bit of effort, but it didn't take long to figure out that what we wanted to do was support kids from our local communities who don't have the financial resources for global education or global travel to take them to Africa to do service work in African orphanages. And for the past 3 years, we've been going every summer to Rwanda, where we work at the Agahozo Shalom Youth Village, which is home, school, safe haven for 500 homeless Rwandan teens. So it's teens here helping teens the world away and learning so much from each other in the process. Another friend of mine had been to this orphanage and with her daughter, and she said, you need to look at this place. I think this is the place that you're looking for your kids. So I researched them, I contacted them, spoke a lot with their people, their representatives in the New York office, and we planned our first trip in 2013, and now we'll be doing our 4th this year. You know, every year is different because every year the kids we bring are different. This year was very special because the kids that I met my first year there, because we also spend every night with different houses of kids. We spend the same night with, I can't explain this, with the same family. And so kids that I met on my first year, I was now part of their family in the 3rd year. So it was wonderful to see them growing up from freshmen now to juniors. And of course the kids we bring from Boston are different every year. So they bring something different to the mix, different needs or perceptions or ideas. And so every trip feels different, even though every trip is about service. Every trip is about learning the history of Rwanda, which includes genocide, and we do visit memorials, and we go to the Genocide Museum, and we have a lot of discussions about genocide. We stay at, quote, Hotel Rwanda, the movie I'm sure most people have seen. That's the very beginning of our trip, to honor the people of Rwanda and the people who were killed there. So that is very much a very deep part of the whole experience as well.
I I traveled to Rwanda in the summer of 2013, and it was such a life-changing experience for me. It was amazing, the people that I met, the people that I just encountered, the country itself, the history, everything was so eye-opening to me, but also such a great experience to be able to, you know, travel the world with a fund that helped me travel, something that I wouldn't have been able to do on my own, and just be able to basically grow and learn, being able to touch different lives. It was honestly a great experience.
I learned a lot about myself and what I value, but I also learned about the importance of giving back, and whether it's in a small way or in a large way, it really makes a difference. I think service trips in general are a great opportunity for students and whoever can to go out and really see how others live and learn more about how to give back to the community, because I think it's important that we all give back in some way or another, because I feel like that's the only way that we'll all really be on the same page and see how we can make other people's lives better.
Folks gathered at an Oktoberfest fundraiser held by Hingham Sports Partnership in lieu of celebrating their 20th anniversary supporting Hingham sports. Fun games such as ping pong and cornhole tournaments were played while enjoying German favorites.
Tonight we are hosting an Oktoberfest event supporting the Hingham Sports Partnership and all the programs that we fund throughout all the Hingham public schools. The highlights of tonight are a traditional Bavarian band down from New Hampshire. We are doing the traditional Oktoberfest food, the sausages, bratwurst, sauerkraut, and a Stein hoisting event.
We decided to deck the hall out and all traditional Oktoberfest and try to make it look as authentic as we possibly can in a few hours. Been working hard on it. We've had a great crew making all the fun decorations, and we all pulled it off today. And I think the armory looks fabulous, and everyone's going to have a great time tonight.
Entertainment, we have a wonderful band that came from New Hampshire, and we have lots of games to be played tonight, and wonderful food, lots of good drinks, and just an overall very fun night.
Sold out earlier this week, 500 tickets, and people are going to be able to come in and enjoy themselves. We've got beer gardens, we've got a band playing, we've got plenty of games, tug of war, and all sorts of food and entertainment. So it should be a really fun night.
Well, we really wanted to make it a special event for the 20th year, as we wanted to highlight some of our great programs that we've funded throughout the year. So we're bringing everyone together here tonight at the Armory and showing signs of all of our sponsors and everyone that has donated and contributed to make Hingham Sports Partnership what it is today after 20 years.
Some of the highlights, I think the beer tent in the center of the room makes it really nice, makes it very festive. All the blue and white, which is our traditional colors for Oktoberfest. The fun signs, the tabletops, the tabletop decorations, like everything, all the details to all the little colors and centerpieces make it look really nice.
I think when we started to talk about trying to do a new event for Hingham Sports Partnership last April, we just tossed out lots of different suggestions, and I think the Oktoberfest sort of just stuck with the board as being a really fun and unique kind of thing to do.
We felt that the Oktoberfest would be a little different than what most people are used to, so from a different standpoint we went with that.
We figured an Oktoberfest theme might be a little easier for adults that don't like to dress up. We know that it's past the Oktoberfest season, which is usually September, but we figured the Oktoberfest theme might be a little easier and attract more people to come if they did not have to get fully in Halloween costume.
We thought this would be a lot more fun, something new, something different. Everyone's gone to a Halloween party, but not everyone's always been to an Oktoberfest, so we thought this would be a great event.
We felt that being the 20th anniversary, this would be a great way to acknowledge that and to bring out a very festive environment as a means of acknowledging the 20 years that we've been in existence and all we've been doing. We thought an Oktoberfest would be a great way to do that.
It makes it a very special night for the board and hopefully for our community. Hingham Sports Partnership, has been giving back and doing things for youth sports and high school sports for the last 20 years. And I think it's a night that everyone can be very proud of the work of past boards and past presidents and lots of people who have been really involved over the last 2 decades. We traditionally do our fashion show, which is usually in the fall, and our fashion show will be in the spring this year. So we've sort of flip-flopped our events. In the past, we've done comedy night, but we won't be doing comedy night this year. We're doing this event instead of comedy night. And then, of course, we always do our golf tournament, which is held in June.
We're going to be having that again over at Cohasset Golf Club, and that's been a great event and a lot of fun for a lot of people in the area.
They can go to hinghamsports.com, which is a website that we share with many youth and high school sports in town. And there's a tab on that website that's for Hingham Sports Partnership, and it has a lot about our history and what kind of grants we've been doing, and it has information about our board and just a variety of information.
I just want to thank the Hingham community for supporting Hingham Sports Partnership over the years.
The ladies of the Hingham Beautification Commission are proud to volunteer to be the ones who maintain the traffic islands around Hingham. They are responsible for planting, watering, and weeding the floral arrangements and do a wonderful job.
Replanting the traffic island at the end of Scotland Street in Maine. We are removing all of the daylilies that have gotten really overgrown and dividing them. We're taking out some plants that were too tall, and we're putting in some daffodils too for a nice surprise in the spring.
We are moving a couple of Nepeta plants so they're being evenly distributed on the island, and we're also planting 100 daffodil bulbs.
It's a commission that was appointed by the selectmen 12 or 13 years ago, I think. And we maintain a lot of the traffic islands around town, and we maintain planters down on South Street, and it means that the DPW doesn't have to take care of them. The board's responsibilities are to take care of 7 or 8 traffic islands around town, including West Hingham and Scotland Street, Cushing Street, Cold Corner, Short Street, Kilby Street, Summer Street. We maintain them, we plant them, we weed them, and the DPW does a wonderful job of helping us mulch, and they cut things down in the fall.
This island, we've been taking care of this for several years now. Today, the ladies have dug up hemerocallis or daylilies. They need dividing every 3 to 5 years, so you get more. And also planting King Alfred daffodils for next spring's bloom. When the MBTA Greenbush line was established, there were many islands created for safety, and I knew that they would need help. The Hingham Beautification Commission needed more people to plant those.
I am very much involved with gardening. Love to do gardening. To me, it's very relaxing, and in the end, you have something beautiful to look at. You have to plant them now for spring. And as far as dividing the plants, they say usually it's better to do in the fall. Plus the town comes around and they put different fertilizer and also mulch. And they said that would interfere if we waited till the spring.
I was a member of the garden club first, and a friend in the club was also here on the commission, and she told me about the opportunity to do a little bit more around town. I really like gardening, so I thought I'd join.
There are 11 islands that the Beautification Commission plants and maintains, with the help of the DPW, I might add, a lot of help. Sometimes people drive by and roll down the window and say thank you.
Actually, today's a great day to plant. We've had rain recently, so the ground is nice and soft. We thought we were going to have to wrestle the daylilies out, and it's been just almost effortless. We're doing is we're responding to a comment someone had. We had some grass in the middle of the island that was too tall, and so we're fixing that. So I think everyone should be really happy with next year on this traffic island.
I think that it's making the town of Hingham even more beautiful than it already is. And even when we're working on the different islands around, we have people stopping and thanking us for what we are doing. So I think it's a very rewarding thing to do.
We have planted bulbs in a couple other spots around town. I think the corner of Cushing and Main. We are also putting some in, I believe, in West Hingham, right in front of the Tedeschi's between Baxter and Hershey Street.
They should talk to the chairman of our committee, Laura Spaziani, or they can check in at the Selectman's office and ask about volunteer opportunities there.
The Hingham Beautification Commission would definitely love to have people join us. So if you're interested in joining a really fun group of people, come and join us at one of our monthly meetings at Town Hall. Email our chairperson, Laura Spaziani, and we will get her email address up on the screen for you.
Barnes & Noble in Hingham hosted a mini maker fair to demonstrate all sorts of unique activities that involve everything from technology to the arts. HCAM was happy to be a part of this fun-filled learning experience.
Barnes & Noble's first ever mini maker fair, which we're really excited about. It's a weekend-long event showcasing all the different things that people make, from robotics and technology, painting, illustration, building a computer, all sorts of really great stuff. We're going to be demonstrating all the different ways that people can use inexpensive and readily available things around them to really make things their own.
Over the weekend we have a mini maker fair, and it's our first ever here at Barnes & Noble, which I was excited about. There's events that are throughout the weekend, so Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And so they're kind of in late afternoon, but there's videography here. I know that there's painting, so it's really kind of what you like to do, even as a hobby. And I'm glad that I got to talk about the Ozobots and the little makers I'll be doing later on today. But so there's different things that kids can kind of interact with, but also collaborate together as a group and work in that way.
Philip is the mechanoid. You can actually build yourself, and you can build it into anything you want. So that's cool just to begin with without even turning on the robot first. You're really like getting your hands on it. It's over 600 pieces, and it's really educational, and it helps with like fine motor skills, stuff like that. And then the Sphero, which is the ball, is really cool because it gets them more into programming and coding. And kids usually just play the video games, but this is really getting them into how video games work, how to actually use technology, and less of just sitting back and playing with it.
I just presented on Ozobots, which are these really cool small robots that are that help kids basically understand programming or coding. So it's kind of an introductory into that field of science and math, which is really exciting, that I feel like a lot of people can be involved in, regardless if you're kind of nervous about being interested in it in the first place. And later I'll be talking about Little Bits, which is actually about circuitry. You can create cool things like cars. It's just different ways to kind of control light patterns. There's magnets. It's really exciting. So I'm excited to talk about that later today.
So my presentation is on building your own computer, which is something that I thought might be a really cool thing to talk about, because a lot of people think that that's so scary to do and that it's something that they would never be able to do. And so my presentation is going to be focusing on why that's not the case, why building a computer is really just like playing with slightly more expensive Legos. Everything is really easy to do. It's about knowing what to get and then putting it all together. And so I'll be demonstrating the different parts of the computer, what they do, how to pick them, and then how to put them all together to make a computer actually work. So I'm really looking forward to it.
It's really great because it is getting them involved. And it's really opening their eyes to like, oh, this is actually a job. People do this. People build video games. People actually program these things. There's something going on behind the screen of my computer, and it's introducing them to that. It's really educational. It brings in almost every aspect of the Common Core, like math, science, art even, because they're designing it. It's bringing it all together into one, which is really great.
The whole Mini Maker Fair is geared towards all ages, and that's one of the most important things that we want to get across, is that making is something that happens throughout your entire life. We talk about making, a lot of people think technology, computers, and that is a large part of it. That's what sparked that hacker to maker transition, was a real big part of the initial part of the maker movement, but it's expanded from there. We're now talking about everything from painting and illustration like we have going on here, guerrilla videography, citizen journalism, to cooking and craft making and sewing and tailors. It's making things your own, and it's making things in the real world.
They can do it themselves, and that when they see somebody else doing it, like building a computer even, they think it's going to be really complex and really hard, but it's not. I mean, everything started from somewhere. It's all about inventing things and going above and beyond.
Barnes & Noble has so many things now. One of the greatest things that Barnes & Noble has done over the past few years is really expand what we have available for our customers. We have books, and we have all the great books that everybody expects us to have, but we've been able to really expand out to our toys and our games, electronics, bringing back vinyl, playing a huge role in that, which we're really excited about. So being a maker is what we do. So we're carrying all of that so that people can come and really come to us as a place to create on their own. In Hingham and the surrounding areas, that just really values things that are unique, values things that are different from what you can just kind of go out and get on your own. And being a maker is a perfect way to bring that into there, because you're making something yourself. It is unique. There is nothing like that out there because you made it yourself with your own two hands. And so I think Hingham is a perfect area for this to be taking place.
That's all for this month. Tune in next time for another exciting episode of Hingham Happenings. If you have any suggestions for a future episode, please email us at hinghamhappenings@hinghammedia.org. Thanks so much for watching.